Hey there, internet friends. Larry the Music Guy here. Today we're going to talk about the Line 6 HELIX foot pedal board. It's a multi-effects processing unit that does amp simulation as well, and it does it very well. I've been a Line 6 user for probably 20 plus years. I started out with the AX2 stereo amplifier. That amp always treated me well, and everybody was always impressed. It sounded like a tube amp, but it was technically a solid state amp. I kind of migrated to the Pod series foot pedal boards, the Pod 500, then the Pod HD 500, which I had before the HELIX. Recently bought the HELIX here probably about 2 years ago now. Just absolutely love it. I actually didn't buy it for the sounds. I bought it for the ability that it has to do additional MIDI type commands. So the Pod HD 500 can only do 2 MIDI commands, where the HELIX can do up to 6. So it's a pretty neat part of it. So it does so much more than just guitar sounds. It can do things like light scene changes, change your amplifier settings from clean to dirty channel, some things like that. So we're going to get into some more detail about the command center feature. If you don't know about that, about the HELIX, well, you're going to learn today, right after this. Now you might hear some noise going on in the background. That is because I am actually running our light show right now. So what I'm showing you here real quick is this is our light show that's set up in my basement right now. We're in the middle of COVID if you're watching this video. Hopefully years from now, when wearing a mask is just a thing that we did back in 2020 and 2021. The reason I'm set up in my basement with my light show and everything is because we're not playing any gigs and bars right now, and we're hoping live music gets back to normal here by this summer, now that there's some vaccines being distributed. So we're hopeful of that, but it's allowing me to shoot some cool videos and show you guys some things. And you'll see that my light bars on top there are kind of activating every once in a while. It's because they're actually sound activated. Clapping my hands. So if our drummer's hitting the kick drum, it'll kind of actually accent that light. But what I'm going to show you is I'm actually changing the DMX light show via each one of my foot pedal push buttons. So I am running our light show from the HELIX foot pedal board via MIDI commands. Alright, so we're going to dig into this and show you exactly how I actually do the MIDI control commands. We're going to go here, we're going to come into Command Center, thus the mobile Command Center. So you'll see here you've got these 6 lightning bolt looking things there. That is where you are able to send a command. It can be a MIDI command, and you'll see my very first command that we're going to talk about is not a MIDI command. It's actually an external amplifier. I'm sending a command by a tip sleeve 1/4 inch that goes to the back of my amplifier into the switch channels input. So typically you get a amplifier that has a clean and a dirty channel. You'd have a foot pedal that would come with the amplifier that you could change channels. Basically we're doing that same function in here because we're telling it it's a 2-ring, and you can see here that if I switch this, I can do 1 and 2 ring or 1 tip. So for me, 2 ring is my clean channel. So I'm telling my amplifier when I'm on 2 ring, which means your tip and your sleeve, that it's going to be on the clean channel. When I go to 1 ring, it's going to be going to my dirty channel. So my first lightning bolt on every single sound I use it strictly for telling my amplifier clean or dirty channel. Okay. My next lightning bolt is saying it's a bank program command. It's a MIDI command on channel 7, MIDI channel 7. And right now it's just telling it to go to program 1. So program 1 on my TC Helicon is basically no effects at all. So that's a very common scene that I use to run my foot pedal board. However, I could come over, and you'll see over here in the next command, I'm actually sending on a MIDI CC command on MIDI channel 7, and I'm turning on whatever CC command 56 is in my TC Helicon, which might likely be a delay or a reverb. I'm just turning that delay or that reverb on or off on that channel that I have basically no pitch correction on. So that's what I use that one for. Now I've got 2 open channels that I could still, commands that I could still send out that I'm not using on this particular song. Now, similar to my very first command, my very last is that something's very consistent. It's a bank program channel change, and it's MIDI channel 16. MIDI channel 16 is my light show. That is my DMX IS software that I use. I'm sending MIDI program information on channel 16, and I'm saying I want to access program number 56 in that software. So as I change channels here, you'll see the program number changes. I'm telling the light show to go to a different scene. So that's 71. This is 73. This one's 48. This one's 56. So that's the way I'm utilizing the command sender for this particular song. Now, some songs I might add in accessing a WAV file. The most common one I could use, and really about the only one we really use anymore, is Paradise by the Dashboard Lights. I access a WAV file on my computer in my Cubase software, where I give it a location point, and I basically tell this by a MIDI command to look at my Cubase software on a certain channel and go to a time signature on that. So I get multiple WAV files in one song, if you will, in Cubase, and then I assign different time point locators to each one of those WAV files, so that when I get to whatever song, I'm just saying point to Cubase to the 2-minute 10-second time signature, and then I'll access that. And we basically do the baseball announcer thing over the top of Paradise by the Dashboard Lights. So that's the way I use that for that. But that's how I control my lights. I control my vocal processor. I control my amplifier, selecting scenes, and that's thus dubbed the Mobile Command Center. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to have a lot more videos coming up on the Helix, specifically talking about the 4-cable method, as well as we'll talk about the snapshot way of running things versus the preset way of running things. Pretty cool stuff to come up. So appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for watching Larry the Music Guy channel, where we talk everything music from a musician's point of view. Future videos we'll be talking about band-related topics, recording, writing songs, gear reviews, and any other thing we find darn interesting about music. So if you find that darn interesting, subscribe, ring that bell, and leave some positive comments down below. But most importantly, remember to guitar done. Yeah, yeah, yeah.